In this episode of Does That Make Sense?, we will be focused on the all-powerful router. Routers are vain, demand a lot of attention, think they're a big deal, like to be looked at, and are only happy if they are the center of attention. Routers are what everyone talks about and thinks about when discussing home networks. They come in a variety of sizes, shapes, and can be purchased from many different vendors like Linksys, Netgear, Ubiquiti, D-Link. The list goes on and on. What router you buy, its features, and how it is configured are critical to a well-functioning home network. We will delve into these topics in this episode only about routers, because they can't share the spotlight with anyone. Buying and configuring a new router can be a mind-numbing exercise. You might not need much hand-holding if you're pretty confident in your geeky skills, but there are plenty of people who know next to nothing about networking. Some boxy device they bought years ago lets them watch YouTube on the toilet, and that's all that matters. It's important to understand at least the basics of how your home network operates. It'll help you troubleshoot or upgrade it when your connection starts to get a little crazy. It'll also help ensure that you're getting the best possible speeds from all your networking gear. Incredibly important if you're spending a considerable amount of money each month for a high-speed internet plan or fiber. It is almost impossible to purchase a modern home router that doesn't include wireless, but these two items can be separated. In the tech world, it is unusual for a business to utilize a multi-purpose device. In that environment, the router and wireless controller have been separated, and for good reason. Usually, your wireless devices need to be better positioned than your router to provide quality services. To do this, multiple wireless access points need to be utilized, and a single router cannot split itself into two to make this happen. For now, it is only important that you understand these two technologies, while often included together, don't need to be. We will dive into the ins and outs of wireless in a later video. Your router is the glue that holds your home network together. It connects all your computers to one another, either through Ethernet or wireless connections. As discussed in our last video, a router is different than a modem. Your modem connects you to the internet, while your router connects your computers to one another. When you hook up a router to the modem, you're able to share that internet connection with all the computers on your network. Some modems come with routers built in, but this isn't always the case. You should never connect your desktop or laptop PC directly to your modem if it doesn't have a built-in router, as a router has a number of features designed to protect your devices from the outside world. Your modem does not. You're also probably paying your ISP for the privilege of leasing a crappy modem or modem router from them. So purchasing your own awesome modem and router, separate buys, is the best thing you can do for your home network. Devices that connect to your router, computers, tablets, smartphones, smart speakers, game systems, and so on, are called clients. Your router gives each client on the network its own IP address, which helps your router direct traffic. Think of it as the traffic cop for your internet. Clients within the network get a local IP address, while your modem gets a global IP address. Global IP addresses are like street addresses, while local IP addresses are like apartment numbers. One lets you find the building in relation to the rest of the world, while the other lets you find the specific location within the complex. These addresses make sure the right information from the outside world gets to the right device on your network. Home routers have two types of ports in the back, local area network ports and wide area network ports. Your WAN port hooks to your modem, which again is what connects to the internet and translates, while the LAN port hooks to your computers and other clients. Most routers have 4 LAN ports. If you have more wired devices than can fit on your router, you can plug them all in using a wired switch. We will have a video on this later. But a switch is like a power strip for your router. It lets you plug in more devices than the router originally allowed. When purchasing a router, it is important not to get lost in the hype. Make sure you understand what you're getting. It is easy to get lost in the big numbers, but the fastest router in the world isn't going to make a dial-up internet connection feel fast. Most modern routers support speeds higher than what internet providers can provide. Here are some tips when purchasing a router. Number 1, the hardware inside your router matters a lot, especially the processor and the quality of RAM. People use Wi-Fi for video streaming, file downloads, data backups, online gaming, and other activities during which lots of data is transferred to and from the internet. Because of that, wireless routers need a lot more processing power than they used to. Your next router should have a dual-core processor and at least 128 megs of RAM. I would lean towards 256 megs just to be safe. Number 2, don't get caught up in the name. Router manufacturers love to brag about their theoretical maximum bandwidth in their model name. You have AC1200, AC1900, AC5400 routers. New generations with support for Wi-Fi 6 have AX in their name, followed by even larger numbers, like the Asus ROG Rapture GT AX11000. The problem is that when you ask, what kind of router do I need? These naming conventions are meaningless. That's because they don't tell you the speed that you're going to get. In real life, there are cases when an AC1900 router can outmatch an AC2500 router. That's because of differences in hardware configuration, when it was manufactured, by whom, Wi-Fi technologies, firmware updates, and the space where you use it. Number 3, verify real-life speeds, not theoretical speeds. There are many people online who test devices for a living. Do some research and validate the real-life speeds claimed by manufacturers. Number 4, get a router that has advanced features like VPN, antivirus, and firewall. Your router really earns its place as the network diva, as it is essential to so many things that go on in your home network. Hopefully this video has provided some insight into this device and some guidance when selecting a router. So, if you like what you hear and appreciate knowledge, please subscribe to our channel and tune in for our monthly content. I am Brent Raeth, and I have just one more thing to ask you. Does that make sense?